Cool Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Y'all Mean a Revolution and Wack 100. The biggest informant in hip-hop history. Before we get into that, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform, y'all. Well, we got to get into this late-breaking information that this young brother dropped on Let me see what the name of this brother channel. Good channel right here. Street Certified. Y'all go by and check this brother. I showed him some love. We're going to start off with his content about Wack 100 2006 gun case down in Texas. Whoa, goodness. I'm in Texas. I caught a gun case in Texas on parole. I went back to prison, y'all. Oh, I had paper. I got a lawyer. But see, think about having lawyers in the state of Texas. That don't get the gun case thrown out. That can get you county time. See, Wack should at least did some county time with this case. No county time, no federal, and the feds can pick it up at any time. Well, you know the feds threatened me? You know the people told me, boy, if you catch any gun case, boy, we're going to send your ass to the Fed. Wack, what's going on here? We're going to dig right into this, y'all. Let's see what's going on.
What's going on? I'm Larry Hoover Jr. and I'm rocking with Street Certified News.
Oh, it is your boy Kiss, man. Shout out to Street Certified News. What's going on? Hit him, Mr. Oh, yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. I'm rocking with Street Certified News. We got behind the scenes, man. We're going to tie this bitch up.
What up, it's your boy Mom J. We rocking with Street Certified News.
Man, Street Certified News, man. Shout out Big Bo. Shout out Wack.
Yo. It's your boy Michelle Guapo, man. Street Certified News. We back with another one. Man, first off, man, if you guys could stop, man, smack that like button on this video, man. It always helps, you know what I'm saying? When you guys drop that like button, you guys always support our videos. We greatly appreciate it. This week, man, you know what I'm saying? With all this Rolling 60 stuff going on and Big U, and there's been a lot of people that have like kind of come out just more than us and have really had negative words for Wack 100 regarding his information and how he shares information and how it could potentially be helping law enforcement. Wack 100 continues to claim that, you know, he's a street guy and he abides by street codes and street rules, but he always seems to find himself embroiled in situations where he's given a little bit too much information to law enforcement, or he's being treated a little bit too lenient by law enforcement. Although we're not really gonna get into the Big U shit, we might get into it a little bit later. We wanted to get into a 2006 gun case where Wack 100 and his brother, both convicted felons, were caught with seemingly an artillery of firearms. You know, shout out to Active Chuck's Deuce M's. We spoke to him later in the video. He gave us some insight. This was all information that he collected directly from the county office down there in Texas. So he'll talk to us about that later. In part one of the video, we spoke with gangster documentarian Al Prophet. In part two, we're really going to break down this 2006 gun case and how it coincidentally lines up with an older story that we told you guys about Wack 100 getting caught on wiretap with the Stutterbox, Liddell Rawls, Mark Stevens case and the Main Street Mafia Crips. So, hey, man, look, with no further ado, it's all going to come together, man. Trust me, it's crazy. So, hey, with no further ado, man, it's your boy Michelle Guapo, man, Street Certified News.
April 16th, 2005. Safety trooper Darren Chase was on a routine patrol on Interstate 40 in Wheeler County, Texas, when he would pull over a 2005 Cadillac for driving 77 in a 70-mile-per-hour speed zone. The driver, later identified as Cash McElroy Jones, stated that he was a truck driver and always ran about 5 miles over the limit. He also stated that he was en route to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a funeral. At some point during the traffic stop, the trooper would ask Cash Jones for permission to search his vehicle. After denying the request, K-9 units were called to the scene. During the search, troopers located a black rifle, black shotgun, a loaded black pistol, along with several clips and large amounts of ammunition for each gun.
Now, in the state of Texas, in a Lone Star State, if this is a legal search and seizure, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Understand? In the state of Texas, if this is illegal, which we're going to see it is, that's a wrap.
Gun. Following the recovery of the firearms from the vehicle, both Cash Jones and his passenger, who would later go on to be identified as his brother, would be arrested, with both men being charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Now, can't nobody tell me nothing about that case because I done had that motherfucking case, man. I done had that case. I done had that case on parole. You see what I'm saying? And me and my team had money. So I know about this case. I didn't know the stipulation of Wack, so I know this, and I had to go back, to prison. The best they could have did, not the machine gun, it got county time. The best they could have did if they had paper for a lawyer, it's got 6 months county time, 90 days, that type of shit. That's your deal. You have to do time if you're a felon. Ain't no case getting thrown out and you a felon in Texas and you get caught with no motherfucking firearms. Nigga, they don't operate like that. You're gonna do some type of
Soon after this arrest, he will be briefly placed on a fit.
I got that same case dropped to a misdemeanor. So it went out, so I didn't have to go back to prison up under a new TDC number. I had to go finish my old time. You see? And that's with a higher, a paid lawyer. Ain't no that case just getting tossed out. No, that's nonsense.
Fed hold before posting a $10,000 bond. Once out of jail, Wack 100 would travel back to.
I had to post my bond was higher than that. I had to post the bond because I had to get out because I was on parole before the blue warrant came. So my people hurried up and got me out. I went on the run. We started doing music, all kind of shit, but I was on the run. But I had to turn myself in. Because I was going back to prison, about to deal with that pistol case. It wasn't no just getting it thrown out because you got no lawyer and all that type. That's nonsense, bro. So I'm glad, because can't nobody tell me nothing about that getting caught a felon in possession of no gun in Texas. So when I found out the reason they say they dropped it, that's when he started working.
To Los Angeles, where he would continue working with Death Row Records and Suge Knight.
Okay, hold on. That's a good point. I'm going to rewind that. That when they let him out, it was to go bring down Suge. This nigga been working with the feds since then. That's why they let his ass out of that hole in Texas to go bring down Suge and get next to Big U and all that type of shit. That's when this nigga started working for him, nigga. And it was this gun charge in Texas that nowhere in hell was they gonna drop. Not in Texas, nigga. Unless the feds say drop it because we finna work with him.
Wack 100 would travel back to Los Angeles, where he would continue working with Death Row Records and Suge Knight. Only 2 years later, in January 2008, police would name Knight as one of the members of the mob Pyru Street Gang in a crackdown by authorities in the city of Compton. Despite his music industry connections, pay
attention because Suge gave Big U the check-in game. They was gonna get Suge. They was gonna give Suge what Big U got if he didn't get that murder case. That's a fact. And then they took Wack under their umbrella and was teaching Wack that motherfucking game. But what Suge never understood was this case had Wack become a federal informant.
Managing Ray J and rapper The Game,
Big U never knew that.
Wack 100's name would be left out of the crackdown. In that same year, Cash Jones, aka Wack 100, would be caught on Wiretapped, informing business partner Mark Stevens that the Main Street Mafia Crip leader Liddell Rawls was under investigation for the kidnapping and beating of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. Liddell Rawls, who prosecutors said was the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, would be accused in a criminal complaint filed in February 2011 of directing members to kidnap, beat, and rob the victim, Robert Ross. CS2 Back will play a pivotal role in that case, both helping authorities connect the dots to Dale Dog via the wiretap phone calls and eventually helping Main Street beat their case.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
I tried to
and he won't take your call. I sent it to you. And he said
I talked to Dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call. But he said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork.
That's
what you said was going off of what
that whole Main Street shit, that was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street Mafia Crips, on March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka Wack 100, would appear in Texas State Court to have his charges finally dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case, where he was caught with multiple firearms and ammunition. The stated reason for the dismissal was not lack of evidence or a violation of Wack 100's rights, as he claims, but based on the paperwork, Wack 100's gun case was dismissed in the interest of justice.
Nigga, that mean you working, nigga. Like I said, I had that same case, nigga. Got it dropped to a misdemeanor, went back to prison up under my old number, nigga. But had I not been going back to prison, I had got it dropped to county time. Like I say, I would have still had to do 6 months county for the felony in possession. You see, when you can get motherfuckers with money and all that, you just getting the felony dropped. You trying to get the felony dropped to a misdemeanor, and then you're going to sit out the misdemeanor, nigga. 1244A. You finna do 6 months or 90 days. 2 for 1. Ain't none of this in that shit. That's when I knew the niggas working. Can't nobody tell me nothing about this case in the state of Texas. Okay, something I never seen before. In the interest of justice, oh, you working. In Texas, oh, in the interest of justice, they dropping your pistol case. That's so the feds could work that boy. And that's a fact, nigga. Wack is busted.
So investigating this story, we tapped in with our brother Luce Cannon from Athens Chucks, a very popular California-based media company. They really tapped into the streets, and you know, Luce Cannon, man, this is somebody who, when it comes to Wack 100, and he's done extensive research on this guy. He really breaks down, you know, how Wack 100, you know, and why he concocted this whole improper search and seizure thing.
So this is my question. So Wack has addressed this before, right? Because we know the story real. We got the paperwork. He can't dispute it. It's a real case. He really got caught with hella guns as a felon in Texas with other people. And his brother was a felon, right? So it was 2 felons that got caught. Right. So has he ever explained how these charges got dropped? Because you sent me the paperwork and I see what it say, and it says in the interest of justice.
I sent you the video where he claims that it was dismissed for illegal search and seizure, right? Now, within that same paperwork that you got, I got that paperwork from the clerk of Wheeler County, Texas, the deputy clerk, old Debbie McLaughlin, right? And you probably can see that on the email, right?
Right.
To verify where I got it from. And there was a motion to suppress the evidence, which essentially argued fruits of a poisonous tree based upon the argument that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Right, I saw that. And the judge denied that.
Right. Now, Wack, I'm going to send you the thing where Wack is saying that's how his case got dismissed.
I get pulled over and the search happened in Texas, right? So immediately, that's why they had the Fed hold. They like, well, yeah, you know, he crossed the state lines, but you can't prove none of that. How you know? I didn't
prove none of that. They don't have to prove none of that shit. I don't know what they don't have to prove that in Texas, nigga. You crazy, nigga? You a felon in possession, nigga. The feds can pick that up off the top, nigga. They don't give a shit about the state. You a felony, you a felon in possession of a firearm in the state of Texas, boy. Hell, you mean they don't give a shit if you traffic it across state lines or not, nigga? So he gonna act like He tricked him and I could have had it in Texas. Nigga, they don't give a shit.
Pick it up in
People
Texas.
don't know.
If she found something.
Wheeler County.
Wheeler County. There you go. Cass Jones, Wheeler County. Them motherfuckers. Hey, bro, shout out to Texas for having audio and video on the front of their squad cars. Because if I'd have been in Cali Beach, I'd have been fucked. I'd have had to take it. Yeah. Because they have the right to report based on the audio, the video and the audio. Yeah. Like if I'd have been to California, it'd have been my word against theirs, but the ex-con word against theirs on how they got it. Them niggas could have said they saw something on the back seat. They could have said all kind of shit. But because they had audio and video, that's what saved them.
Right. So basically, Wack is lying about why this case got dismissed, and we know that because we contacted the clerk in Texas. They sent the paperwork, and it clearly states that his motion to suppress was denied because the judge found that all of his rights, none of his rights got violated. They did the right kind of search, and this is what they found. So then when he
now in the state of Texas, once they prove they got probable cause and they find guns, machine guns, all that in possession of a felon, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. So either he would have to sign for some time. They'll give, take 10 immediately. Well, we give you 10 years right now. Take that 10. That's a fact. But you see, it said in the interest of justice, they dropped the case. That's because the Fed stepped in. He started working with them on bigger cases out west. Nigga, they wanted Suge. They wanted Big U.
Right. They had the right probable cause. So he didn't get that evidence suppressed. So then when I see the motion to dismiss and the judge grants it, and I see it's a list of all of these things that it could be.
Right.
And it's a lot of
checked.
You said what?
One of the boxes is checked.
Right, only one of the boxes is checked. But the things that it could be were surprising because it was like lack of evidence. Nope, that's not the problem. Illegal search and seizure. Nope, that's not the problem. Like I think it said something like the person that died or something. It was like a few different reasons why they would drop the case. And none of those things were X'd off except for this thing that they call in the interest of justice. What's your take on what does that mean when a person get a case dismissed? Like, what is in the interest of justice? What does that usually mean?
That was the first time I ever heard it, right? So, in the interest of justice essentially means that the prosecution filed that motion to dismiss the case. So, Wack 100's attorneys and Wack 100 had to convince the prosecution that it would be in the interest of justice that two ex-felons crossing federal state lines, making it traveling interstate commerce, making it a federal case, that sending out that message is that it's cool. It's in the interest of justice that we don't prosecute this dude, which is a far-fetched reach, right?
Especially in Texas, it's people that got 5 years for just weed in Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So this is my other question. So like you said, he's trafficking guns across state lines. Him and his brother are already convicted felons. Somehow, some way, they get their charges dropped. Why did this thing never go federal?
Right? The feds have put a Fed hold on him off of the top. He admitted to the police in a statement to the trooper, Darren Chase, that they had came from California and he was going to pick up his mother for because she can't travel. But the dude once Wack 100 says that he got a bail, his brother didn't get bail, they let him out first. He only had $180, but he had a black card. He says that a white man picked him up, him and his brother, but if the bail bonding was closed until a couple of days later, how did you? And then he said the airport was 50 miles away. He was transferred to Beaumont, the federal.
That's another thing that's suspicious as hell. No bondsman would have wanted to bond him out. Niggas from California. They wouldn't have wanted to touch that bond. They wouldn't want to touch that bond, bro. You from California. Why the hell would they want to bond you out?
Federal facility or some kind of holding facility in Beaumont. He was in jail for not just a night or overnight to the next day. He says 6-7 days later, he was still in jail on a hold, and that the feds came all the way to where he was at to tell him, hey, look, we don't want to pick up the case. Like, why would the feds come talk to you in person?
Right, they just wouldn't pick it up.
Or they would fax over information to the jail or to the district attorney in that city. Now y'all can pick it up. We can't do it. Why did they have to come speak to you face to face and then you get a bail? You know what I'm saying?
And then they don't pick it up. So this was the interesting thing I'm gonna put in there, and it's gonna come with the story. Like I said, we working on the story. Within 1 month, so in my research, and this is a little spoiler, man. So you know what I'm saying? Within the research, that Main Street Mafia case where Wack 100, we know by now, was caught on the wiretap. The indictment for that case was February 2011. That's when those guys got indicted. Now they end up the case getting dropped in June, but they got indicted in February 2011. Wack 100
case was going on before that,
huh?
But the case,
the case started in 08. So yeah, I know the case started in 08, and they was investigating it that whole time. Wack was caught on wiretap in 08, but they actually didn't file the charges to 2011.
Because went to jail.
Coincidentally, a month later, Wack 100 gets his Texas gun case dropped almost a month to the day in March of 2011. And
you did your calculation.
You can check the dates. I was gonna say you can check the dates. They indicted Bell Dog and Main Street Mafia Crips in February 2011 after a 3-year investigation or 4-year investigation. And a month later, Wack 100 got his gun case dropped in Texas.
It's your boy, Emerxo Guapo, Street Certified News, man. The most reputable source for urban media. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for staying tuned to this 2-part series. Shout out Al Prophet, man. Shout out Deuce M. And like I said, man, really the moral of the story is a lot of these guys be lying about who they is, they life or whatever, and they perpetuating images that are not positive for the kids. And it's even more hypocritical because they perpetuate images that they not living even in the first place. So, hey, like I said, man, Street Certified News, the most reputable source for urban media. We appreciate you, man. Please hit that like, comment, subscribe, man. We love you.
These types of situations, Luce Cannon is continuously calling home from the feds, and it has everybody wondering what is going on. Today, I'm going to be breaking down a strategy that's used a lot, but most people aren't even really aware. And I'm going to also show you exactly how these types of situations play into this indictment and what it could mean for others. Everybody from DJ Academics to even people on the No Jumper podcast that he's actually calling into are telling him to stay off the phone. However, he can't. Luce Cannon's internet journey began when he popped up with Wack 100, incriminating Big U in multiple different cases, and more specifically, incriminating himself in this one specific robbery where this guy gets everything took from him and then later pulls up on him and gets $40,000 of his money back. Coincidentally, around the same time that Luce Cannon was beginning to turn his antenna towards blasting Big U, this alleged extortion victim who was given $40,000 of his money back was charged in a federal case out of Ohio. Now, originally, Luce Cannon was going at Wack 100 and calling him a snitch lover. Knowing what I know now about Wack 100 and how he moves around thinking he knows everything about everybody's case, I believe that he approached Luce Cannon with the information about this case in Ohio. possibly warning him about cooperation. And it was at this point that Luce began to work for and with Wack to get Big U off the streets. I mean, just think about it. Wack 100 gets the information that this other guy has been charged and is going to cooperate. Luce knows he was involved and could possibly be charged when the investigation over. So what does he do? Join the investigation. Start a public campaign, not only stating that Big U was a part of the situation, but also stating that all of his actions were done at Big U's direction and that he was being manipulated. While this does make him a party to the crime, it makes him less culpable. See, the feds work off a point system, and being labeled a leader will get 4 extra points added to whatever points you already have, resulting in a steeper sentence. Now, it's my position that this entire campaign by Luce Cannon on the internet was basically his interview with the feds. Once he learned that the investigation was on, which we know that he knew because Wack announced that Brick Baby was raided by the feds, we've now learned that Luce Cannon was also picked up by the feds and then had a personal discussion with the informant after that, in which the informant told him that he was informing, and Luce discussed being picked up by the feds. And lives started popping up everywhere. And it's not a coincidence that the exact same situations that were being investigated were the ones being discussed. This is why, despite the warnings and obvious risk, Luce won't stay off the phone. Another thing that I want to point out is that this investigation was already going on before the Luce Cannon and Wack interview. As we see, this alleged victim was recording conversations and making controlled payments in 2022. Also, since these arrests have happened, Wack announced that he knew the arrests were coming by releasing audio of one of the alleged victim's mother telling him when the arrests were coming.
And they still ain't arrested the nigga? Well, they told me between me and you, please, between me and you, don't tell nobody because they don't want nobody to know. They're going to be making an arrest the ending of March, the beginning of April.
And if you look at the timing of when Luce Cannon allegedly fell out with Wack, it was right after he got the word that the arrests were coming. He had to fake a fallout with Wack publicly because he knew once the charges came down, Wack would be the person to get blamed. And he didn't want to go into the jail system being associated with a person accused of snitching. He also didn't want to appear to be still cool with Wack after the charges came down, as that would make it obvious that he was running a play the entire time in an attempt to minimize his role and provide extra evidence. See, the victim had told that he was robbed and extorted, but by Luce Cannon telling the story and saying he didn't know what Big U was doing and was just following orders, he now makes himself a victim of being extorted as well. Just listen to what Luce Cannon says to the informant while the informant was still working. This is a recorded phone call that was taken while the informant was still working. He was telling Luce Cannon that he was working and what he was doing. Luce Cannon actually recorded the phone call so he would have proof of the situation. And then that's when the play between him and Wack started, and they started manipulating the situation to where Luce could put all the information out on Big U and look like he was getting extorted and get himself out of this. Now, what Luce Cannon just did in that audio clip right there was get the informant to confirm that he knows that Luce Cannon was forced to do this. So when this trial comes up, this informant can't go in here and point Luce Cannon out and say, yeah, he was one of the guys and woo, because now he's already acknowledged that he knows Luce Cannon was forced to do this by Big U. If anybody has any doubt about any of the things that I'm saying in this video, all you have to do is listen to this audio released by Wack 100. In this audio, he's talking with the informant who wore the wire. That informant also gets on the phone with Luce Cannon. Prior to the investigation even being completed, he's telling Luce Cannon, yeah, I wore a wire. And in that interview, in that phone call, Luce Cannon admits that the feds picked him up and asked him about this specific situation.
Yeah, of course, but what I'm saying is, like, the shit that I was doing, and I didn't want to lay y'all niggas down. I didn't want to do certain things to y'all. You know what I'm saying? But why? You know what I'm saying? You know what the saying, nigga, you know what's going on, but at the end of the day, I got my own problem. I got my own thing. I ain't know nothing what's going on besides that. Yeah, I know, but you know, we got wrapped up in this shit too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. Trickle down with Big U, but then nigga ultimately, nigga, they got me. You know what I'm saying? We know why. You know what I'm saying? No, but what I'm saying is because it's like, you know, like with that situation on downtown or whatever, like when the feds came and got you, because I used to think they just got me a couple of months ago. Yeah, but what relationship me and you got? You and somebody can get to you because of me. How is that even possible? So basically they asked me about you because of the big youth situation, I guess. Yeah, he covered his... But you the one that asked me. How they gonna ask me about it? Come on. You know, they didn't ask me about you. You what I mean? They asked me about you, but then they said about the situation with Big U with the extortion shit. You know what I'm saying?
So just like I said, Luce Cannon got picked up by the feds. Once he got picked up, it hit him. Man, if they asking about this situation, this dude must be telling. So then he goes to that dude. That dude tell him, yeah, they picked me up. Woo, woo, woo. So now his plan is in motion to get himself out of this situation, meaning going to No Jumper and any other platform that will listen to him talk about Big U and disassociate himself. Meanwhile, Wack is sitting in the background recording the conversation. So now he has proof that Luce Cannon has talked to this informant and knows what's going on, just in case Luce Cannon try to backdoor him. And at the same time, he got proof on the informant too, so he can keep him moving how he want him to move. At the end of the day, man, it's obvious that Wack 100 knew what was going on the entire time and has been pulling strings behind the scenes. He recruited Luce Cannon because the wiretap evidence about the extortion seems to be the strongest piece of evidence that they have against Big U. By getting somebody who was allegedly a part of that situation to not only come forward, but to come forward and confirm details and then claim that they themselves were forced to participate, makes a very strong case for extortion. Now, it would make no sense for him to have denied the situation to the feds and then go on YouTube and tell the complete story. So I think he told them the story, and then he decided to go on YouTube and tell the story even more to get more traction and publicity from it. And then that way he's breaking down and giving them information without actually signing a proffer or being involved. And they can give him a deal for cooperation without actually having to put it on paperwork. The paperwork won't say Luce Cannon agreed to cooperate with us. He'll just get a good deal and everybody would say, oh, well, he just pleaded guilty and got a good deal. This is how you manipulate paperwork and manipulate people into thinking that there is no paperwork, when in actuality, he's cooperated. At the end of the day, I hope people can see through this. And I believe that when it all really hits the fan, we will see that Luce Cannon was working for the other side all along. But until then, check out this audio.
He was just on my phone. Yeah, I know him. I know the nigga. Nigga named Dale. They call him Monster. Nigga do read the scripts in his book shows. I know the nigga. Now Luce is all the way up. Luce up because they was both just on my phone in October. And Dale was working all the way up into March 15th.
Wack knew the phone was hot.
14th, which lets me know when they was having that phone call, Dale's phone was hot. So, yes, I got the whole call.
Revolutionary salutes my brother Andre Tony for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is a way of life. Appreciate the love, family. Salute.
It's bad business. I thought about it. I said, them niggas just called me in October. Twice. October 14th, October 15th. And these niggas was having this conversation. Dale said he had to turn himself in December. He said, what? Big U's hot. He working. I'm not going to lie. He admitted it. I worked it. I told him Big U been extorting me. That nigga. Wack, when I did business with you, it was real business. Even when I owed your people, shut down to me and it was fair business. We made a deal. We negotiated. You shook hands. You left. You left me with the people. Whenever I sent you money to deliver orders, you always deliver. But these niggas want to come over here playing with me, right? And him and Luce got to talking about whatever they was talking about. Thinking about it is like, yeah, this is going to turn out.
Wack trying to clean this shit up. Wack done already told the whole world, Big U do the shaking down for the Crip side, and he do the shaking down for the B side, the Pyru side. Wack already put himself in that. Ain't trying, but he working, so he can talk like that.
Because they was just on my phone in October, and Dale and Luce Cannon was wide open with their conversation. And now I see it like so I'll be like, fuck. So yeah. You know, remember when we came in there, I came in with my squad, cuz, and then remember we took everything. When we took everything, you know what I'm saying? No, but you know, man. Like, I would like to talk to you more openly when I know you might be recording the nigga. And I got a guy on, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, no, we talking clearly. You know, we talking clearly. You know what I'm saying?
On Neighborhood, I'm not recording it. He's blowing up their sticks and dead homies, all that. And so Neighborhood, we not hearing what we hearing.
Yeah, of course, but what I'm saying is like, the shit that I was doing, and I didn't want to lay y'all niggas down. I didn't want to do certain things to y'all. You know what I'm saying? But Rod, you know what I'm saying? And then now you just, y'all, you know what I'm saying? But Rod, you know what I'm saying? And then now you just, right?
Hold on. Hold on. This is Dale. This nigga, Big U. October 14, 15. Let's see. You know what the fan, nigga, you know what's going on, but at the end of the day, I got my own problem. I got my own thing. I ain't know nothing what's going on besides that. Yeah, I know, but you know, we got wrapped up in this shit too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened took down with Big U, but then nigga ultimately they got me. You know what I'm saying? We know why. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Oh shit, yeah. Okay. You said you got something going. It's always gonna be wrong. But nigga, you know what I mean, dog. You know what I'm saying? I know, man. Shit don't make sense to me no more, bro. You know that dealing with the police, bro. And nigga, I don't think nobody can deny that, because that's how that's why Wack never respected Nipsey, because Wack knew shit about Nipsey that wasn't respectable. And he only know that because of us. I watch that shit. It might be true. You know what I'm saying? You got that recorded and Nipsey talking to the police, and they try to use it against the baby. It might be true, but shit. No, but what I'm saying is, because it's like, you know, like, with that situation on downtown, or whatever, like, when the fans came and got you, because I used to think they just got me a couple of months ago. Yeah, but what?
Revolutionary salute to our Queen Yaya's kids for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is real life. Absolutely appreciate the little Queen. Salute to you.
Relationship me and you got. You where somebody can get to you because of me. How is that even possible? So basically they asked me about you because of the big youth situation. I guess he comes and says, but you the right hand man. How they gonna ask me about it? Come on. You know anybody. They didn't ask me about you. You see what I mean? They asked me about you, but then they said about the situation of Big U with the extortion shit. You know what I'm saying? So when they said that, I'm thinking I was sick, so like you had something to do with it, but then I thought about it, then they asked me about information about you, but I know it's not coming from you because we already know what happened with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to think about it because nigga, when they came to question me, nigga, then homies, it was like out the blue, like hit me at the gas station. Wow. Hey, I want to tell you something, bro. I'll be watching some of your videos, bro. And when you say that throw the rock and have the end shit, that should be hitting me like a motherfucker every time you say it. Yeah, because every time I hear you say throw the rock and hide the hand, I'll be like, it just be like, damn. It's like, you know what to say, nigga. You know what's going on, but at the end of the day, I got my own problem. I ain't know nothing.
These YouTube streets is getting dark, man. The streets done finally realized if you can't out-physical somebody, out-muscle them, out-tough them, out-goon them, out-think them, you can always out-police them. And it feels like this is where the culture is now leaning towards now. With Big U off the streets, everybody has their focus on Wack 100. I've been seeing 10-hour live streams of dudes pulling up various clips from various podcasts and Clubhouse appearances, trying to point to Wack 100 and assign crimes to him. I'm starting to see some nasty work going on, bruh. So Adam22 and DJ Academics have sort of seen the chatter online. So when they have Wack 100 on their programs, they ask, yo, Wack, are you concerned about, the chatter around you extorting people? Now, every time they bring it up, Wack 100 is not playing no games with it, bro, because Wack 100 understands the ramifications for that narrative even getting out there. So whenever they bring it up, Wack 100 shuts them down. The first person who confronted Wack 100 about this was Academics. Academics would tell Wack that he looked up the extortion statutes and definition, and he believes what Wack 100 did to Future can be seen as extortion.
I was even looking up this morning, the idea or what's determined as extortion under federal statutes. You leave yourself to some exposure based on even when you used to run with it. Like, for example, the Future story. That sounds like extortion. We ran down the airport and we extracted money from this guy who did not want to give it up. Like, we basically told him.
This is why you Igaboos and Igamites gotta cleanse your souls, man. And be very afraid of people like myself and DJ Academics, right? Academics just said, now this is something that I do too, so this is not out of this world. I believe him. Academics just said, I got bored, so I decided to look up all the statutes regarding extortion. Oh, man. I got bored, so I decided to research what are the laws regarding extortion. Yo, y'all can't win with us, man. Yo, be terrified of a dude, man, who gets bored and just start looking up different legislations, man. Different. So Wack 100 gets pissed, and Wack 100 starts telling Academics what happened between him and Future was not extortion, it was just business.
Here goes what you guys always do, right? Y'all like to add what I said. I'm a bet man, Academics.
I am too.
I'm a bet man.
I would bet you. But
right? Okay. So I will put up a little small wager if you can find a clip that say we took any money from Future.
Yeah, but demanding money and also demanding money, it might not be, again, extortion, but you see how, like in the RICO, it said overt act. It show a pattern of trying to extort.
No, let me correct you on something.
Go ahead.
When we saw Future act, if you tell me, yo, Wack, the whoop-de-whoop fresh and fitness, yeah, I gave them these 15,000. I went to the motherfucking studio down there where we recorded. Man, that was empty. Them niggas had been moved out. They beat me for my bag. Right? Okay. I'm coming through the Beverly Center. I see the fresh and fitness.
Okay.
You knowing me, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, you gonna highlight them, yo.
I'm gonna say, hey, homie, bro, Act tell me y'all beat him for 15,000. What's happening? Hold on. I'm gonna get you on the phone. I've done this 1,000,000 times, right? Hey, bro, boom, 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 boom. I've had some people say, Wack, they just covered the debt a week ago. They took care of me. Or I had some people say, yeah, bro, what's up? Like, we need to fix that, right? So, catching a nigga and taking something from a nigga is one thing, right? But catching a nigga and saying, hey, homie, you took some money from the homie paid you.
When I heard Wack 100 respond back to Academics and speak on the Future situation, I was thinking, yo, am I remembering the Future situation differently? Maybe it just came off worse at the time, but Wack 100 explained it pretty perfectly. We ain't extorted him. We just had a conversation with Future. So I went back to listen to the audio, man. And when I listened to the audio, bruh, looking back, oh, it's bad. Like, looking back at that audio right now and thinking about the climate we're currently in, that audio is bad. The story about Future actually came around because Wack 100 was explaining the culture of check-in. And he will say, back when Trick announced the check-in policy, him, Trick, Big U, and others had a treaty. We can call this treaty the Treaty of Versailles, right? Where Igaboos came together and they said, listen, okay, we run our coast. We can have a lock on it, all right? If somebody you want money from, come over here, oh, we gonna get it for you. If somebody we want money from, come over there, we gonna get it for you.
Trick's no-fly zone was based on the collective at that table when it was on. For instance, that was like, it was a real table at one time to where we knew what was going on, knew everywhere, in every region, to where we knew what was going on. Right?
Future fell victim to the Treaty of Versailles. So Wack 100 and Big U seen Future at LAX. Wack 100 and Big U knew that Future owed Trick money. So when Wack 100 seen Future, he acted swiftly. Now, what took place next didn't quite sound like the story we heard of. It was just business, man. You know, we had a conversation for you to give over the money. This sounded like force.
Future owed Trick some money. So me, Trick, and Big U was real close at the time, right? Hey, Future owed bro some money. All right, Trick in Detroit. Me and Big U on a red-eye flight to Atlanta. We coming to LAX. We coming through the security, putting our bag through the thing. Who we see on the other side? Future and the girl that's with the football player. Sierra. We see Future and Sierra. I say, bro, is that who I think it is? He looked. I said, yeah. I said, you take them. I got him. When we come to the thing, I say, hey, homie, you got that money for Trick? He take off run. I'm chasing the dead homies through the Delta. And he runs into a motherfucking terminal, and he runs into the thing, but it ain't hooked up to no plane. He left it.
Oh, bro.
Right? Wow. He runs into the terminal, true story. He runs into the terminal, right? When he run into the terminal, he take his phone out, right? He know he can only go so far, because what you gonna do, jump onto the runway? That's a long drop down there, right? he throws the phone at me on speaker. All I hear is Stunner voice. He say, Wack, it's me, Stunner, talk to me. I say, Stunner, I'm busy right now. He said, yeah, but I don't want you to be, nephew. What the going on? I say, oh, Trick a bag, man. He can't be in our backyard and he owe bro a bag. Either he gonna pay or he finna get up and then he gonna pay.
If I'm Wack, I'm instructing all these quote-unquote clippers to take down every Clubhouse episode recordings you guys have of me, bro. It got to go. The digital trail is too deep. He either pays or he gets effed up and then he pays. Ain't no other option. Listen, man. That don't sound like business. Okay. It don't. So when academics is asking Wack 100 about this, I feel like when academics heard this. So academics probably forgot what he heard. So when Wack sort of gave him, like the story he gave him, Wack sort of forgot what he heard. But clips like this, now again, I'm not saying Wack 100 extorted Future, right? Or I'm not even saying this story is true. I'm saying this story sounds bad if this story is an accurate portrayal of what happened.
Right? Trick at home sleep. He don't know what's going on. He in Detroit, right? He say, Wack, my word to you, I'll pay the debt. Let him be. I got business with that man. I said, what? He said, Wack, this Stunner talking to you. As your brother, leave him be. You got my word, whatever the debt is. Send me Trick, I'll pay him in the morning. On me. I'm giving you my word. I threw it back the phone and walked away. Trick got his wire. Damn. This real shit. But what I'm saying is like if we was gonna move it, if we saw you. And our squads knew if they saw you at a hookah lounge or a club. It been times where niggas like, hey, well, I ain't gonna say no names, such and such at the club, lock him down. Them go over there 20 deep to their VIP. Tell the security they don't pay you enough for this here. Look, continue to have your drinks. If y'all cool, ain't nobody moving out to VIP till the homies get here. And we show up. Hey, what's up, homie? Yeah, that beat you was supposed to. That verse, gonna homie paid you for that verse? Yeah, you ain't finna be out here in the homie in Chicago and what's happening? We got a studio around the corner. Let's go. You now. This your security. They can roll with it.
People look at LA and y'all see the palm trees, y'all see Hollywood. Y'all don't there's some real vultures on the West Coast. Yo, this is why I stay in the house. I don't answer phone calls from nobody. I don't gossip with nobody, bro. I don't pick sides. I stay in the house, make my content, bro, and go. Yo, I even moved next door to the police because I live in LA County, right? I'm not moving to Beverly Hills. No, I moved next door to where the police station is. I moved next door to where folks from the police academy live. That's where I live. Bro. You know why? If you're gonna rob a house next to the police academy, bro, then hey.
I work best as a one-man operation, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about getting my taxes right. H&R Block lets me save money by doing it.
You just an unstoppable Igaboo. Ain't nothing we can do with your Igabooing, bro. You bro, you is a evolved Igamite. I can't do nothing about it. Wack 100 would say that the future situation wasn't really an anomaly. He will say that it got to a point where they were booking people to show up just to press them.
And all of that is based on disrespect to the code. He told Trick Daddy change your name. Trick Daddy started woofing, talking to Miami. They booked Trick Daddy on his show. He brought his dumb ass up to Detroit. It's on video on Google. They beat shit out that guy and ran him back. That's how his rap career was finished. On my mama, go Google it. You see him get his ass whooped. That happened up all that, bro. Yeah, we was good for that, booking it on the show.
Boom Squad.
Yeah, we'll book you in a minute.
Boom Squad beat the shit out of that.
Because see, you got to remember, we didn't lose no money. Because when we booked you, right, we was part of the bar and the dough anyway. So we was going to get back whatever we gave you anyway. We didn't care. You wasn't getting nothing but the front end. We wasn't paying you the back. The back was a form of ass whooping.
Remember when
the back end was a formal ass whooping? The back end was a formal ass whooping. Oh, nah, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all gotta take down this digital trail, bro. Y'all out of pocket, bro. Listen, bro. The big homie Wack right now, man, is the last savior of the West Coast, bro. If Wack goes down, man, the West Coast don't got nobody else, man, to keep it going, bro. I'll be real, man. If Wack goes down, the West Coast got nobody else to keep the podcast scene, the entertainment scene really lit, bro. So y'all got to take this down, Getty. Yo, this ain't cool, man. Getty, who's the other guy, man? Ray Gibbs, Clubhouse TV, bro. Y'all got to take this down. Now, Big U would actually respond back to Wack 100 telling his future story, and he would say it's not true. So Big U understood the ramifications of that story like a year or two ago. So he understood that he didn't want to be really associated with that story at all. Big U writes, I have never been in LAX airport with Wack 100, nor did we run down on future. Fact. I wish y'all would get it in your head. These people lie all day. 10% truth, 90% them. I hate how no matter what someone say about Big U is just true. When is the hate going to stop? I made one mistake. That was building with a blank. And for that, B's and C's, I'm sorry. Academics would inquire about other things. Like, for example, Hassan Campbell would say that he has a recorded phone call of Wack 100 admitting that he extorted Oscar De La Hoya.
But Nipsey know you want that good, that type of nigga. You don't even do that. You ain't put the work in with a nigga that's a body man. Everybody know dude is a body man. I've been saving his career, bro. He got gay on him, bro. Also, my mama. We got all the footage.
Wow.
Yeah, he paying his baby mama with him. His baby mama sucking other nigga. Nipsey behind him.
Oh no. Yeah, it was getting juicy, right? But y'all still didn't hit that like button. Go get it on Patreon then. Do you hear how he's talking about Nipsey, how he had a sex tape, how he was blackmailing him? The nigga even had a sex tape on Oscar De La Hoya. He allegedly was blackmailing the Oscar De La Hoya. This is the devil of Hollywood. Oh, Wack, how you feel now? This isn't your own. Oh, you didn't know I was recording you.
What's crazy is all my life, I've heard about the Oscar De La Hoya situation. I knew that it existed. But it wasn't until I got to LA that I found out that Wack 100 was associated with that situation. Academics will ask Wack 100, do he feel like the Oscar De La Hoya situation was extortion, and is he worried? Wack 100 would say that, nah, it's all just business.
But what I had access to, bro.
You did have the Oscar De La Hoya either pictures or tape, though.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I never said that.
You made it.
I said the attorneys.
They paid like $850,000, huh?
No, it was way more than that.
Really?
It was way more money than that. That's just, you know.
Not because he talked about it. I mean, there was news articles back in 2018 saying Oscar De La Hoya and ex-Shannon Moakler at the center of $2 million extortion plot after 2 Instagram models filmed the naked boxer engaged in depression. So again, there was some extortion involved in that situation. Not saying
no,
you did it.
I don't know what the models did. They could have did. I don't know the models.
And by the way,
hey, listen, man, it's just the price of doing business, man. Now, do I feel like Wack 100 may have put the Great West Coast press on Oscar De La Hoya? You feel me? Right? May have squeezed him a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. All right, maybe. But what I would say if I'm Wack 100, bruh, I'm done answering questions about extortion. Yeah, I'm not going on no more platforms, bro, where y'all asking me about extortion, because what this does is now creating a public narrative. Because what happens is this: once it's out there and Wack starts to explain himself, people begin to go back and find certain archives. And when they go back to find certain archives now, what happens next now? They begin to post the clips. The clips begin to go viral. All right. Now the feds is watching, police is watching. So if I'm Wack, bro, I'm just cutting it off, right? Now, Wack will tell academics that him asking about extortion is him preying on his downfall. Which I don't think academics is preying on Wack 100 downfall, man. I just want to be clear.
Let me ask this question, because you know, now that we see with them requesting from Adam, right? They requested that cease and desist with Big U, and that was centered around Nipsey, or a conversation around Nipsey. Since they're talking about extortion, and I'm just trying to have you clear it up, because some people might be like, well, how come Wack ain't get picked up when Wack was talking about Nipsey on tape? A chick with another man, and they got the secret tape. Wack got mad secret tapes, and he basically he threatened to put it out, or not threatened to put it out, but he has.
Wait, slow down, see there, y'all go again.
Yeah, I don't feel like Wack 100 right now, like currently, is extorting anybody. I feel like Wack 100 is a pretty smart guy, and Wack 100 knows, bro, like, yo, that extortion stuff don't fly, which is why I believe Wack 100 has been able to sort of elevate, and Big U is currently in the situation he's at. It feels like Wack 100 adapted, Big U didn't really adapt. Now, the biggest obstacle that Wack 100 faced when, you know, with these extortion claims is, like, Wack 100 has been pretty vocal about how him and Big U was really close at some point. So when you have people like Hassan Campbell who really wants Wack 100 off the streets, yo, Hassan Campbell wants Wack 100 in jail. So when you have people like Hassan Campbell doing videos where they say, yo, you and Big U was really close. If Big U was doing this, then you was doing this too. Bro, Hassan Campbell made a video yesterday where Hassan Campbell would say that he has proof and audio of Wack 100 admitting to providing firearms to Crips for them to go to war with each other. And, yo, when I seen that, bro, I say, yo, we've gotten to a point where the street dudes are no longer trying to fight it out or shoot it. Bro, they're no longer trying to get it out the streets, bro. Street dudes are now trying to out-police each other. They're now trying to get their ops in jail. For Hassan Campbell to post audio like this about Wack 100, I think is pretty insane.
Right. They be talking, bro. Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess who they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Big you all up. Wack. Crip nigga gotta come see me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they go to war with each other, so I don't give a fuck. Them niggas kill each other all day long. You know what I'm saying? That'd be Crip on Crip shit.
Do y'all realize that Wack 100 was on tapes talking about selling guns to the gun? He was saying he sold guns to the Bloods and the Crips and instigated gang wars for them to kill each other. How did y'all forget that? Did y'all forget that when Wack 100 was bragging and talking about Big U and those wiretaps,
This is nasty work, bro. Yo, the streets is done, man. If you can't out muscle or out physical or out gangster your out, man, you gotta out police them, man. Feel me? This is crazy. This I'm not even commenting on that, bro, because I don't know if it's true or not, bro. And I don't even know the implications for this, bro. But it feels like people are literally begging the feds to come and get certain people now, bro. Because people now understand the feds is watching. So now they're using their platforms. Again, I'm not talking about Hassan Campbell. I'm talking about everybody, bro. Because I've seen people do 10-hour live streams on Wack 100 this week. Right? Literally pulling things up, talking about, Wack just committed a crime. Why the feds didn't get him yet? So people are literally trying to get Wack 100 in jail right now, man. Which is, hey, listen, man. If you can't out tough them, you might as well out police them. Okay. Now, Adam will confront Wack 100 about this particular clip of Rich Homie Quan that's been going viral.
A city like LA, that's one of the cities you got to be on point. Like, you gotta be like, especially with it being so political and the politics out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one spot I don't play. Like,
they said it's more dangerous right now with 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock in the morning.
The first time I ever went to LA, I went out there to shoot a party video.
But
they knew what time I landed. They knew what hotel I was at before I landed. Listen, bro, the first time I go out there, so flying with TIG, Fly was like, man, we gotta go pull up on Big U. So we're going to Crenshaw High School, but he got the football kids out there. So okay, I know Crenshaw the Bruce side. When we first pull up, I see him and Wack talking. And in my mind, I'm like, I thought it's blood versus Crip. These niggas sitting here talking, having a conversation.
Right.
So my mind up. This is my first time going out there. He was like, yeah, man, we knew what time you landed. I was like, oh yeah, this shit different. He was like, yo, you in a hotel room, Then what you call it, get your bag, ain't your driver? I was like, oh yeah, this shit different. So at the same time, I say that to say,
Rich Homie Quan never said that Wack 100 told him something or Wack 100 threatened him, but Wack 100 just being there when Big U apparently was running his press, it's a bad look. So when it's going viral, Wack 100 has been, getting asked about this. So Adam asked Wack 100 about this. Now, Wack 100 will say that Rich Homie Quan is lying, right? That this never happened, that he came and went directly and started performing, that there was not no press. They didn't tell him that they knew where he was staying, that it was all fabricated.
Like I'm watching Rich Homie Quan, and he's talking about how when rest in peace, that when he had to come to LA and check in, that it was like you and Big U, sort of two men in the situation.
We was having a conversation
about checking in.
No, I was already up there having a conversation. Again, he pulled up. See, y'all got it. This was crazy. When it come to me, you motherfuckers seem to catch amnesia when somebody's telling the story.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to say that's a great idea. But first,
I think he added to the conversation saying, you flew in here and you staying here and staying there because those elements don't fit what he was there to do. So he went out there and walked with the kids and they did their shit. So why in that situation would a person go having a conversation about motherfucker know where you staying at, who your driver is?
I think it's at least in part because
it don't even make sense.
Much like Big U, you've kind of gone into detail about a variety of situations that a lot of people are conflating with extortion at this point.
What do you mean by that? What you mean?
It's been supposed, and we don't have to get into the details of every single one of these situations, but it's been, you basically said in the past that Oscar De La Hoya was paying to not have his nude photos or zesty photos released.
Stop right there.
It's been said that you were talking to Nipsey's family about the gay tapes of him not coming out. I don't know if there's money involved in that. It's been suggested that maybe Kim Kardashian at one point or Kanye, that they were doing stuff for you so that you didn't release more sex tapes of her.
Okay. Now, let's start with the first one.
And when academics kind of tried to bring up some of this stuff on the podcast, you got very irate and you were really kind of screaming at it.
Because y'all dumb.
See, right there.
You're a dummy too. I gotta call you a dummy.
Okay, but
because I'm gonna show you.
But starting with the name calling makes you look more guilty.
No, I'm gonna show you why.
Wack, don't let them trick you off the streets, bro. Don't let them tell you that being emotional is a sign of guilt. Nah, you gotta be emotional. You gotta cuss people out, man, to send a message, bro, that you don't want to be asked those questions, bro. Because I don't know, man. I'm starting to see too many YouTubers, too many Wack 100 ops covered this thing on YouTube for it not to be a concerted effort, right? Like for it not to be something that like they're coming together as a collective to push. I think this is dangerous, but I guess with Big U going down, there has to be a boogeyman, and now they're exalting Wack 100 to be the new boogeyman. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do you guys feel like there's any truth to the
Now, Luce Cannon has arrived in the LA federal facility, and him and Brick Baby are now cellmates. What the hell is going on here?
Let's get right to it.
That is insane. Was that like pre-planned? Like what the heck? Oh my gosh. So Brick Baby is your cellmate. No. That is wild.
He was like, "Thank you for the T-shirts and everything like that," and
Oh, yeah.
he was like, "You so real for that," and then
The feds want these niggas to talk about that case that's still bugged, or these niggas in some type of protective part.
like them for it.
Well, definitely, I would hope, they would do the same and if the table was turned, So I definitely, if I had the outsource to be able to help his wife while going through this, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I already sent her first payment last week from the sales we made last week, and she was so happy. But I'm happy that he heard about it. That's good. I'm gonna keep pushing so that we can keep making some money that way. It gives a little more ease, even at least for these phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't cheap.
No, Brick, hold on. I want to talk to you.
What up, sis?
Hey, Brick, how you doing?
Thank you for everything you're doing. I heard you keeping the name strong. Keeping everybody's name
Listen,
strong.
I'm trying. I'm doing whatever I can with the power that I have.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. How you holding up?
Oh man, we cooling. My boy here now, so we
Yo, is that crazy? You guys are cellmates? What?
Boy, no.
How in the world did that happen?
When I figured out the jail, I'm like, bro, finna come. I'm like, as soon as he come,
Now
I'm
imagine, that's his boy, but your last motherfucking time seeing a nigga, y'all are across from each other on no jumper, and you got your hand on your gun, and Luce got his hand in his pocket on his gun, and y'all looking at each other crazy. But that's your boy. See how this shit go?
about to bring him because you gotta come here. So I'm like, yeah, he about to come right here with us.
That's crazy.
Why
So
would
you helped set that up?
Why would the feds do this, bro? When I seen this, I said, oh, the feds playing a thing. Why would the feds put these two dudes in the same motherfucking cell? Unless it's to coordinate against Big U, or unless where they at, this is where they're safe. This got to be the safe zone. Because that's serious business. There's no way in hell these niggas are supposed to be in the same motherfucking cell together, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, as soon as he came in, shit, you already know. It ain't no other way he gonna go. And we can't be talking in front of all these people. So I was just like, come on.
Man, that's what's up. Okay.
Good out there with the baby and stuff.
He's here. He's teething. So I'm going through that phase right now where he's a little fussy. But, I'm bearing with it. I'm bearing with it.
Here go, bro, right here.
All right. All right. Good to hear from you. Keep your head up.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shoot. Y'all about to pick up where y'all left off. Y'all gonna be holding podcasts in the cell?
This shit's crazy. But I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to see if you could cash app so I can get some food.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Who just give me a cash app and I'll send it over so that you can get some outside food, because I'm sure that food over there is trash.
It's terrible. Yeah, no, I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Where I'm at, I'm always gonna be good.
So in love.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
I'm just happy that, you're okay, because my stomach was churning all night when I didn't hear from you, baby. You don't even understand. I was a little nervous, even though I know this is part of the process, just not hearing from you for all them hours really, really made me stressful.
Yeah, no, that shit crazy.
And then I was trying to add money to your books because, I saw that you were in the LA system, but it still was processing. So I couldn't even add money or nothing. So I'm just happy you found a way to reach me through someone else's phone line, When did they say you're going to be fully activated so that I can do that?
I don't know, but that's why I'm gonna have you on Cash App.
Okay.
And then I need you to get on with the lawyer. What I told you to send him.
Yeah. I already talked to the lawyer. He's supposed to come see you, and I think you're supposed to have court tomorrow, so he'll come check you in court tomorrow too, Now that you're in LA, because everybody in the world thinking you got a public defender.
Oh, that's goofy as shit. They know how much money we get.
Man, it's just silly. You just had someone at the detention thing. That was it. But your lawyer is in LA. I don't know why people just be doing that,
That's goofy.
But anyways, I love you so much. I'm so glad I heard from you. I know this call is going to cut off soon. So, I just want to make sure you hear that.
He done made it over there with Brick, baby, man.
A bunch of love birds, huh? They so in love, y'all. Man.
The life of a reformed gangster is always a hard line to walk, because once you slip up, the feds won't hesitate to put you right back into a cell. But what happens when a man who's been respected in the streets for years manages to fool everyone, making them believe that he left his old life behind, all while building a public image as an entrepreneur, community leader, and even the former manager of stars like Nipsey Hussle? Turns out, he may have just been pulling off the biggest trick of all, flying under the radar for decades, fooling the law, and stacking an empire that's now on the verge of collapse. Because it's starting to look like this high-ranking rolling 60s Crip wasn't just hiding in plain sight, but he might have been tied to some shocking murders as well. It's your boy Luesta, and this is the downfalls of LA's check-in kingpin, Big U. After rising up as a successful podcaster, internet personality, and all-around OG in the Cali gang scene, Eugene Big U Henley Jr. looked like he had it all figured out. He was running his own nonprofit, making moves as an entertainment executive, and earning respect in the streets and the industry, especially in the LA underworld he first entered as a top-ranking member of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips. But just when you thought he had it made, the feds swooped in and are now looking to throw the book at him.
Now, in their case, the feds say he ran a mafia-like enterprise. He's accused of murder, kidnapping, embezzlement, robbery, and extortion. And that's just to name a few. Now, Big U claims he's innocent, but if he's convicted on these charges, he's facing the rest of his life in prison.
Accused of running a mafia-like organization that relied on his stature and long-standing association with the Rolling 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals, Big U shared a video just prior to turning himself in, which he asserted his innocence after the RICO charges were announced.
Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to
I don't even know what to say.
A move that was part of an expensive swoop from the feds known as Operation Drawdown. 10 other alleged gang members and associates had been arrested and charged with various federal crimes, including drug trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and firearm offenses. 4 defendants were already in custody. And for Big U, this is far from his first issues with the law. He previously served 13 years in prison after a 1991 arrest for attempting to rob an undercover cop of 33 pounds of coke. Since emerging from prison in 2004, it's when Big U reimagined himself as a community activist and fighting against the gang violence. But in this investigation, which has reportedly been occurring since 2021, it's alleged that Big U has been as deeply involved in crime as ever. According to United States Attorney Joseph McNally, the allegations in the complaint unsealed today reveal a criminal enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, human trafficking, and fraud, all led by a support anti-gang activist and purported music entrepreneur who was nothing more than a violent street criminal. Among the allegations is that professional athletes, musicians, and others had to check in with Big U to ensure their safety, a practice which he talked about openly on his podcast.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers, like who really real killers. Like if he ever find out who did that, he gonna knock everybody down. You understand what I'm saying? You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it? You know what I mean? And it's just about, sometimes it's about respecting, you know, yourself and then trying to get home. So, I mean, you know, I hear a lot of back and forth on that. But I mean, I don't know that it's a perfect answer other than me, myself, I check in.
By the sounds of it, this was the worst kept secret in LA, because now an old clip of Schoolboy Q resurfaced in which he seemed to allude to Big U's status as the man that people were stupidly entrusting.
There's been rumors that LA is probably one of the most dangerous places for rappers. Do you believe that's true?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do. Check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Right.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know, motherfucker, in California got your back? The guy that got beef with other hoods and all this, you checking in to that dude?
Right.
Bro, just go to the hotel, get you something to eat, go back to the hotel.
Do your business.
Go have some fun.
Right.
Where shit is fun. Why do you want to go over there?
Right.
For what?
Elsewhere, rappers who visited LA, like Rich Homie Quan, have spoken about their own experiences with this kind of situation.
First time I ever went to LA, I went out there to shoot a party video. But they knew what time I landed. They knew what hotel I was at before I landed. Listen, bro, the first time I go out there, so Fly with TIG, Fly was like, man, we got to go pull up on Big U. So we go to Crenshaw High School, but then he got the football kids out there. So my mind fucked up. It's my first time going out there. He was like, yeah, man, we knew what time you landed. I was like, oh yeah, this shit dip. He was like, yeah, you in the hotel room, then much car in your bag, and so driver. I was like, oh yeah, this shit dip. So at the same time, I said that to say, that checking in should be real. I ain't paid no money. All he wanted me to do was just take pictures with the kids, the football kids. There be little shit like that. Like niggas be thinking check in, oh, you got to pay. They just want you to show the community like you're still able to be reached.
But his reach extended far beyond what you'd expect. And it wasn't just street-oriented rappers who fell under his jurisdiction. According to the paperwork, NBA players or other celebrities would need to work with and get approval in advance from Henley to ensure their safety at events in Los Angeles, such as parties, gambling games, or advertising shoots. Reportedly, these celebrities would have to seek and or pay Henley for protection and approval or face retaliation from the Big U enterprise. And when he was defied, he always looked for there to be consequences. For example, when former boxing champion Adrian Broner failed to check in and won millions from NBA players in rigged dice games, the paperwork claims that Big U directed associates to rough up AB, who had not checked in with Henley, and to get the money back from him on behalf of the cheated NBA players. Multiple members of the Rolling 60s allegedly arrived and were used to press AB. This was because, in the testimony of an unnamed witness, Big U was involved and or would approve of any dice games or similar events, such as parties involving large sums of money and prominent NBA players and celebrities. But it's not like he was trying to ensure the integrity of these games. It's reported that Big U just intended to charge them $100K for the safe return of their money. But while Big U hasn't mentioned it directly, comments from Broner have since seemed to underpin that he really did make off with a fortune at one point.
They told me that you and John Wall was playing dice one time, and you caught that nigga for like 3 M's. They told me you beat John Wall in dice one time for millions. Is that fact or fiction? Because this is a reliable source that told me this too.
Listen,
this is a real nigga that told me this.
Listen, it's truth to that, but it was dice and cards.
Oh, so it was a whole day of just a day in like
it was dice and cards, and the crazy thing is John Wall is my God. That's like my God.
So hold on.
I ain't really trying to go into that, but but that was just some friendly gambler. It gets serious, but you got to think these two niggas that got the money that gamble. So it can be $250,000 a game, $1 million a game. Like, you know what I mean?
And
It get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's all friendly.
Right.
It's all friendly. It's just sometimes it get like that.
Alongside the fortunes he made from the check-in racket, Big U managed Mike Epps, Ving Rhames, Corrupt, and other.
Some personality quirks are really funny. Like, I talk to my left foot more than I talk to my right. You know what's not funny and not a personality quirk? OCD. Although the term OCD is widely recognized, it's misunderstood by most people. It doesn't mean being tidy or clean. It's having obsessive fears, thoughts, and urges. You question your character, you question your safety. That's OCD. Breaking the OCD cycle takes effective treatment. Go to nocd.com to learn more.
Others, as well as having ties to Snoop Dogg, Daz Dillinger, and other Dog Pound members. In fact, he was even notorious enough that Tiny Lister himself acknowledged that he was the origins of the Debo character from Friday.
I pulled that from Big U. I used him as my background of how I wanted this character to be perceived. Because the whole thing about how bad this guy was is when Ice Cube pulled the gun on him, they said, "What you gonna do with that?" Besides make me mad. That was cold-blooded. That was it for me.
But in the view of his allies and enemies alike, he is far more powerful than his big screen counterparts. If I was to describe Big U's role in rap, he would definitely be the Godfather. Wiz Khalifa once said, "Can't do nothing without consulting him. He's the only guy who does move how he moves." Meanwhile, Wiz seemed to go out of his way to stay on Big U's good side, contributing to his community projects and keeping that connection strong. But now, like many of Big U's relationships, is being viewed through a different lens.
Wiz, what about Wiz?
Oh, Wiz Khalifa. Now that right there is one of my nephews. Yes, sir. A phenomenal brain. I think people don't give Wiz the credit he deserves for how smart and intelligent he is. He has donated for the last 5 years. He has donated every year to the organization. I think he gave us $25,000 last year for the football organization. In the terms of we bought football jerseys, uniforms. He paid for our field. He's performed 2 times for us a year for the football program. By far, he's done far more for the Crenshaw community than any person up to date.
Wiz been paying them taxes for a long time. Extortion gang. With FBI specials claiming that he controlled Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation, that reportedly even led to getting donations out of people like Shaq, Draymond Green, and others, they argued that U simultaneously attempted to create an air of legitimacy for the Big U enterprise by promoting himself as a reformed gang member focused on bettering his community. But what many people do not know is that one of the cornerstones of that attempt to make the Big U enterprise both profitable and appear above board was his management career. Most specifically, his ties to none other than Nipsey Hussle. But now, as he stands accused of killing one of his other former artists in the RICO, some of the theories surrounding his acrimonious relationship with Nip and how he responded to his death has people wondering if the narrative we're used to hearing around the Slauson legend's death is really all there is to the tale. As a fellow Rolling 60s affiliate, Big U was a natural hit for Nipsey when he set out on his career. Back when he initially began to establish himself as a rapper and focus solely on his grind, Big U actually gave Nipsey a place to crash. And at the outset, the two were thick to the point that Nip allegedly did his bidding. This brings us to the story of SKG, a woman who was raised in the Rolling 60s environment, but progressed to working in a corporate environment at a radio station. A former artist on death row in her own right, SKG had a relationship with Nip, but it didn't go sour until Big U got involved over a $500,000 project that she was placed in charge of. and handed off to Yu's company developing options. After he refused to deliver on various plans and the cost skyrocketed, SKG and the station decided to go another route with the community project, and things went left at the office when they were confronted by Big U himself.
Throughout that, me and Big U start getting into it. We start having conflicts. We decided in the middle of the conflicts that we wasn't going to work together anymore.
Okay.
So with that being said, I was moving that money to another organization. When he found out I was moving the money to another organization, he came into the meeting that I had at my job and disrupted the whole meeting, threatened me in the meeting, disrespected me in the meeting. When he did that, my colleagues, this is a corporate establishment. It's not a hood environment. It's not a trap house. This is my job, my salary job, and I brought you to the table. But you're coming in here and you're trying to bogart and knock me out the way when I brought you in.
But Big U soon drove a wedge between her and Nipsey when the rapper set her up on the Elder Crips' behalf.
He did all that, and I closed out the meeting, and my colleagues rode with me, and he seen that. So I didn't talk to him anymore. A couple of days passed, or not even a couple of days, like a week passed, and Nipsey's calling me. He's like, sis, where you at? Where you at, sis? I need the posters. I wasn't going over to the neighborhood, to the 6Os, because I was really busy, and I'm like, Nip, I'm going to come, but I can't come right now. He has Slauson T's shop on Slauson and Crenshaw at the time. So he's like, all right, I need the posters. Him and Fats is behind the counter. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And I'm talking to him. And as I'm talking to him, I get this eerie feeling. And then I hear a slam, clack, clack. And I realized I was set up. And so...
What do you mean a slam, clack, clack?
The door slammed.
Okay.
When I turned around, Big U was there and another guy, and he just slapped me. And I grabbed my face and I'm like, what you slapped me for? And he was like, gonna embarrass me in the meeting. And then he just jumped on me.
Although she didn't go into every detail of what happened, she was clearly left traumatized by it.
And I looked at Nipsey, and him and Fats just put their head down. And I just was like, you set me up, like I trusted you, and you set me up, had me walk into this spot for this man to beat on me, and I'm pregnant. I get
How far?
I'm sorry. I don't even want to. I get so mad about this, Sasha. I get very upset.
Hey, Jasmine, can you bring some tissue, please?
And she even tried to out him for years when they ran into one another, with her actually being the one to get arrested.
Did you put your hands on me?
Never even seen me.
You bully? You the bully.
I think you're bullying. I think you're bullying right now.
No, did you lock me in the spot?
I think you're. Can you call the police?
Yeah, call the police. Call them now. So I can press charges for what you did to me.
As dark as this was, Big U's relationship as Nip's manager persisted, even when they accidentally caught a case together over their transport on a tour where Nip was opening for the game.
And so what happened, one of my partners was on the run for 12 years, and the bus that we used was a part of the investigation. So when he was getting married, I talk about it now because he already turned himself in. So when he was getting married, I told him, man, let me use that bus. Use your mobile home. So we turned around and went to Sony and told Sony we got transportation. We can get on the game tour. Because that's when we did the song with Nip and Game. It was called How We Roll. I think it was something like How We Roll.
I remember that shit.
The song started picking up. So Sony's like, okay, we're going to put you on the tour. So Sony give us like 90 bands. So then we cake 20 off the top, me, Steve, and Nip. And we got 70. The homie like, shit, you ain't got to give me nothing. Just get it registered and get the insurance on it. Little did we know, once we re-registered it, it put it back on the hot list.
Oh.
But he's been on the run 12 years. I only been home 3.
But things couldn't last when the streets and the music industry intertwined, particularly as Nip started gaining traction. As his career began to take off, Nipsey spoke of the mounting friction between him and unnamed former allies as he began to elevate.
Especially if you come from LA.
I know what that nigga just said. That other cat been on the run 12 years, low key, getting money. This nigga come home 3 years, get the man hot.
Especially you come from the streets.
Probably on purpose.
And you got a lot of people that feel entitled to your success on their time frame. Because a lot of times in my situation, I had plans to do for a lot of people that are healthy, but it just wasn't on their time frame. And I never been one to speak about what I'm gonna do, especially if it's something generous. I don't feel like you know what I'm saying, you broadcast that. You just do it. And a lot of times people be like, damn, it been a year. He been on for a year. I ain't got nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? Fuck this nigga. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He Hollywood. He ain't doing nothing for me. Where, you know, and it's an understanding on my side too. You have to understand what's going on with the way people looking at you.
Disillusioned with his former team, Nipsey claimed that he tried to rise above until he couldn't any longer.
You know, that's not the reality of the situation. You got responsibilities, you got priorities, you got bills, you got taxes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to end up like Wesley Snipes or none of these other rappers. So, you know, it's a process. You got to, over time, hopefully you don't go to jail reacting emotionally in a process of evolving into your success or get, God forbid, anything. You know, we all know what can happen. The downfalls out here, but it's a art in surviving that transition. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it's in my situation, in my scenario, it's more so like, don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just that. Don't even react to the shit, to the negativity. Sometimes it'll knock on your door. Like we got into it recently. We had an altercation. You know what I'm saying? With some people we used to do business with. It was all over internet and all that. But the bottom line with that was, you know, it became a situation that couldn't be avoided. You know what I mean? It had to be addressed. But with me, 9 times out of 10, my reaction as the LA, as the somebody that came up out here, somebody that with the bullshit at the end of the day, is to just go hard. But you can't do that. Because, you know what I'm saying, you wanna live life in the direction of where you're going. And you wanna, the person you're trying to become, you wanna live like that today.
And over time, the tension started to bleed into Nipsey's music. He began dropping songs aimed at rolling 60s OGs like Big U, most notably in You Don't Got a Clue, where he raps lines like, I'm busy getting rich, you think I'm gonna stop for you? And also, act like they're supposed to have control over what I do. I built this on my own, and everybody knows it's true. Considering how carefully he guarded his reputation, this led to Big U demanding that Nip be disciplined. And in a now infamous story, Wack and Big U's former right-hand man...
What a joke.
Those with Robinhood Gold can enjoy a 3% IRA match. Tremendous.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Pi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks ads for you. And it actually...
Luce Cannon revealed how Nipsey's brother Black Sam squabbled up in his brother's defense. Initially, it's alleged that Big U tried to fight Nipsey, but he was too fast for the much older man.
Nipsey did the diss song. A lot of people don't know Nipsey got a Big U diss song. They don't know it.
You don't have a clue.
Right? You don't have a clue. Something like that, right? He mentioned his name and everything, right? And that's when he went out there and knocked him out. That's when Sam came.
He didn't knock. No.
Well, he said he knocked him out. He said he knocked him out.
No.
Sam came out busting the air. I got the call to come bail him out. Come to find out that was a play.
Yeah. So basically, let's get this straight. So Nip had an altercation with him in the studio or whatever. Big U was like, "Is this song about me?" He was like, "Yeah, it's about you, cuz." So Big U threw the water bottle at him, right? So he was like, we're gonna have to go downstairs and get down, right? So they in the middle of the street, and Nip kept just bouncing around. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to get hit or whatever, trying to fire on. So he was like, all right, cuz I'm gonna have like my little homies come because nigga, I don't have to win for this, right?
So things picked up the following day, and Black Sam didn't hesitate to do what he could to deter Big U from thinking he could extort or intimidate his brother.
TD and them came and he was just doing some bullshit or whatever like that. So they try to come. Big U tell Nip, get in the car. You gonna go on Bryanhurst and you gonna get down, right? Black Sam like, you ain't taking my brother nowhere. You get what I'm saying? And he tried to pull him out the car. When he tried to pull him out the car or whatever like that, Nip looked over and he's like, listen, long as you don't, maybe we good.
But in the process, Sam ended up getting arrested. And the way that the cops showed up so fast had Luce claiming that Big U might have been working with them.
So he put them on his pockets. They try to rush Nip. You get what I'm saying? Like Paul's and all of them, right? And so Black Sam busts in the air. When he busts in the air, Big Useless had the police already watching. They come there 30 seconds, right? That's how
we don't even know till Black Sam and the other dude from 40s tell us when we started exposing. They said, bro, Wack, you know that night when that thing happened, when the police came, Big U flashed something and started directing the police.
The next day, Nipsey bailed them out, leading them straight onto a private jet and into a celebratory mood.
$1 million. Excuse me. $100,000 loss. $1 million bond. Nigga, what you talking about? Nigga, we in Vegas. Congrats.
But even though there was some kind of confrontation, the tension didn't end there. As Nipsey's career kept rising, Big U was still seen as a lingering problem, someone who never really let go. Later on, Black Sam spoke about how they had to protect the DJ Khaled from the whole check-in game and the so-called friendly extortion just to shoot the Higher music video in Compton. And that move, well, it didn't sit well with Big U at all.
Not to get into much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. We not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hustle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that. And did the video. Khaled got out of there perfect and smooth. And, you know, we appreciated Khaled for showing up and coming to the hood and doing the video, and we knew that this was going to be one of them one.
However, that video wouldn't even be released until after Nipsey's tragic passing on March 19th, 2019. And while the general belief is that Eric Holder, a Rolling 60s Crip in his own right, killed Nip over an argument stemming from snitch allegations, not everyone has been so convinced. Particularly as not only did Nipsey and Big U never patch things up before his passing, but there have been regular accusations that he was the man who set it up. And if you need to know anything about Big U's power in LA, just look at the body language and refusal to probe further from LA molded individuals like AD and T-Rel when they questioned him on it.
We was just in every video. Like how we was beefing when all his songs, every album he put out, since we had the so-called altercation, he shouted me out. He got the goddamn keys to the city. Like what? Did he say, I want to be Big U? Oh no, what did he say? Big U, like J Prince and Big Draws. And then like, what did he say? He shouted me out of every song. But you got to figure that that's not gonna make no sense though, because people make money. You know how much money people made off of saying that? The president wrote a letter to the Nip family, and they vowed to find all who had involvement with it. What the would I still be doing here?
Right.
So it was like, then I'm like, but like you said, when people who don't like you can use that against you. And I told my homies, I said, look, pay attention, bro. And I go to people, and I'm like, it's a whole side of LA that don't like us. They supposed to diss me.
But audiences were less convinced, claiming that Big U had nothing to lose and everything to gain from Nipsey's passing. Big U wasn't getting these interviews like this when Nip was around. He definitely had a hand in that hit. Go back and look at the mockery on his live where he read a comment saying, "Justice for Nip," and looked back at his homie and started laughing. Big U was definitely trying to capitalize off Nip. And if you're wondering, yes, that incident on live really happened, and it has to be seen to be believed.
Justice for Nip.
Boy would have been there like, yeah,
you did. You did. They waiting on the interview.
But commentators are far from the only ones beating this drum. In several interviews, Charleston White has detailed his belief that there were active gang politics when he started to outgrow the crew.
Homie, they killed Nip too. Let's not forget, homie, they killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the detail, Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip daddy across the head with a bat. His brother had to come out and shoot the gun. Hey, y'all get out. Say, Nip, come on, nigga, we finna come beat you because I don't want to pay that $20,000. You say it's over this equipment, but the white folks is pulling me away from the set. I met a Jewish white boy on the front row at the Los Angeles Lakers ball game. Me and this white boy getting drunk. We started talking business idea. This white boy, see, I'm a sharp nigga. This white boy pulled me into business ventures, the vector sector, right? So now I'm being expanded, but now they pulling me away from the set. The set have made it known nobody's bigger than the set. Nobody's bigger than the program.
And while so much has transpired between Nip and Big U, Charleston feels there was no bigger contributing factor in his passing than Nipsey flourishing and sparking jealousy among his would-be superiors in the gang and refusing to fall in line and pay dues.
And all the other big homies and the OGs in the hood, they standing in front of Nip shit. They standing on the street corners. When Nip pull up in that fucking platinum Jaguar, he pull up in that fucking platinum Jaguar, nigga, them fresh ass Puma with all them goddamn chains on, and then he opened up the door. He got a Hollywood coming up out of there, London Lauren, one of the baddest Hollywood we done seen. When the little homies see Nip pull up, do you think they gonna stay here and talk to the big homies, Big U and them? They go making a bad face and say, y'all, there go Nip. And they go run away from the big homies. As all the excitement going to Nip, all the brawls, everybody, the store, what you think the big homie sitting back saying? Now Nip is growing. Nip that Monday had a meeting with the LA County, with the LA Police Department on gang intervention program before he come up dead. So now Nip and Big U done fell out over $20,000 worth of equipment. So they say, but it's really over $20,000 nigga extortion fee to pay for protection. Yeah, Nip was being extorted too. He had to pay for protection. That's why they got that video of him that Wack 100 say they got of him.
While Charleston is about as removed from the 60s set as you can get, there are some involved in that world who have suggested Big U knew more than he let on. In fact, in the wake of the indictment, No Jumper has since deleted a video where Luce Cannon suggested that Big U knew he'd been killed prior to it happening.
So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6-0. I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone and I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got? Or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what me up, because my cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? You mean that? You talking about?
No, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey and I was like, "Yeah, I love you, cuz," or whatever like that. I'll see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
In his opinion, this was a premature call when he knew what was really about to happen.
The homie Shitty double back 3 times. You get what I'm saying? And first he shot him, boom, go into the alley, came back and shot him, boom. It wasn't good enough. And then he came back and he shot him again. But now it's like
how did he know?
Yeah, no, but
that's crazy.
It's deep. So it's like, I don't know who to trust.
Now let me ask you a question. I heard this. I don't know how true it is. I heard that Shitty and Nipsey had a fight.
Yeah, they had.
They
had a fight like a week before that. When they had a fight, you know, Shitty ain't known for fighting.
Yeah, not at all.
He known
not at
for
all. Yeah.
doing the other thing. So at the end of the day, it's like Nipsey beat him up. Nipsey is what's like 6'4", 6'5". Shitty is like 5'5", 5'6". You get what I'm saying? Like frails. Like.
But as damning as this seems, his alleged involvement in the killing of Nipsey isn't even one of the killings that may put him behind bars. And this time, he may never get back out again. In the indictment, Big U is accused of being involved in the killing of Rayshawn Williams.
Contact Robert's Air for all your heating and cooling needs.
A former Crenshaw High School football star and best friend of Big U's son, LA Chargers player Dayan Henley. Referred to in the paperwork as RW, his relationship with Big U started off much like Nipsey's. He had lived with him at one point and was even signed to Big U's label, Unique Music. But things went south for Rayshawn when Big U set him up in Las Vegas at a prestigious studio to kickstart his career. Reportedly, tension began over his refusal to work as intended, with FBI agent Andrew Rusa claiming, "I believe that Rayshawn was wasting time," thereby disparaging Henley's name and the Big U Enterprise reputation, and potentially flouting that disrespect with the lyrics of the diss song led to a dispute. As we learned from Nip, dissing Big U can be a catalyst of problems, and this reportedly led to a confrontation in the studio. After that, they parted ways, and William was said to have returned to his Airbnb to grab his belongings. But a few hours later, around 3 a.m., Big U showed up back at the studio alone, reportedly drenched in sweat. 6 hours after that, Rayshawn's body was found dumped in a ditch. While at the studio, Big U allegedly asked for their surveillance footage to be deleted. FBI agent Andrew Rusa later wrote that the footage likely showed an altercation between Henley and Williams that night. At the very least, it would have captured the two of them leaving the studio together shortly before the murder. Since then, Big U has reportedly kept his distance from Rayshawn's family, who've been demanding answers. But every time, he's dodged being questioned. And now, after giving a sample, DNA matching Big U was found under Rayshawn's fingernails, placing him even closer to the crime than he ever admitted.
Y'all remember a couple of days ago when I mentioned that case where the kid, the football player, you know, it was Big U's son's best friend, played on the football team, who was living with Big U, was killed. And they were saying that Big U didn't show up to the funeral, never contacted the mother for any type of support, anything, just blocked her and everything, right? It was just like, damn, bro, like you You always say if you know anything about these gang murders to give you the information. But when the football player is the best friend of your son who was living with you turns up dead, you don't want nothing to do with nothing, right? So the news came out today, this morning. The mother said that Big U has been denying to give his DNA. So they had to send a warrant to get Big U's DNA. You want to take a wild guess whose DNA came back on his son? Big U, Eugene Miller's DNA came back on her son's fingernails.
Apparently, the result was inconclusive, but he couldn't be excluded. But with everything else that's stacked up against him, it's certainly not going to help. And neither is the fact that some of the other men that have been captured as part of Operation Drawdown have been running their mouths for years now. First up, there's Luce Cannon's rise to prominence online. Currently jammed up alongside Big U and others, he once was tight with him. But the disharmony between them came from the robbery of Meek Mill and extortion of Rick Ross, where the money didn't add up.
When I did that to Meek Mills and Rick Ross.
What'd you do to them?
So,
the club, when you sweated them in the club?
Yeah.
Dude, and Meek and Rick have no idea that Draw sent you at him.
No, yeah, they sent that because I called Ross. I'm like, Ross,
boy, this shit getting crazy.
Drop off the 50,000 and we're gonna let Meek live on Crib. So Ross dropped off the 50,000, and so me and the homies, we go back. He stopped answering the phone.
From there, he has been continually coming at him, claiming that not only his former boss was involved in the killing of Nip, but that Big U was giving out guns to 60s members and was taking down the serial numbers. Since then, the feds have tapped their phones, revealing that they were setting up plugs and pulling a whole host of scams. But it turns out that was basically unnecessary when he continually made comments online that basically could have got him indicted on their own.
We go and do something, and the same niggas we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to, counting everything, right? And we be like, how the they get that? Oh, well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But because it's actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police. I seen you get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like shit like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm his
high-tech shit.
I'm his right-hand man. You get what I'm saying?
And with the benefit of hindsight, people can't believe that he ran his mouth like that. These are some of the slowest criminals on planet Earth. These people get on camera and tell it all. Wow. The same goes for Brick Baby. Now known as a host on No Jumper, this 60s Crip has been less than discreet about his past and present. In fact, he first got on the feds' radar when he threatened Charleston White and claimed he had a dime on his head.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was in Houston at the time when he did that, and this was kind of like around the time I think Takeoff had got killed. So yeah, I contacted Houston Police Department. Then I contacted L.A. County Police Department as well as the FBI because I wanted to be documented, just in case I run across Brick Baby and I got a shooting. I heard him.
Okay,
so yeah, I was setting the stage for a self-defense case.
Then there was his alleged role in the killing of Lil Pop, the cousin of Quando Rondo, who was shot and killed in apparent revenge over Lil Durk. Alleged to be the unnamed fourth co-conspirator listed in Durk's own RICO indictment, Brick Baby initially denied this.
So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 I'm the one that provided the location to
Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nah. You know what I mean? Like, I know it looks, I wouldn't be right here doing all this first and foremost if I was co-conspirator number 4.
But not everyone bought it. Brick Baby out here doing damage control. Sometimes when you talk too much, you usually talk yourself into a life sentence. Brick Baby's energy changed when he heard Lil Durk's name, but then he went on a spree of incriminating himself.
All the guys that came in on the big plane, rooms at the Sheraton Universal Hotel, using a credit card in Dirk's name.
Maybe Dirk wasn't talking to them about.
Hey, listen,
that's what I said. Listen,
innocent until proven guilty.
Man, don't book nothing in my name, bro, because y'all stay smoking and shit. Then I can't go to the hotels.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right.
All the while, he was aware that he was on the law enforcement radar, claiming that he was unsubtly monitored for months afterwards. Then there was the track Not Enough, where he actively alluded to involvement in a murder for hire case, spitting, "Last one we turned into a pack, we got $1 million plus." Big U seemed to allude to it too.
The youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in.
You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way. And so they get out and they might be under your banner, but then they not respecting the banner. They ain't calling you. They got your number. They know who you is, but they feel like they bigger than the program. You know, and you got a lot of dudes, like when I was here last time, that claim my neighborhood that's in this music shit, but they don't really fuck with us until it's a problem. Then they call it. Like Quando Rondo. I just showed Envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot. You didn't fuck with me before that.
Now, Brick Baby is behind bars too, and in hindsight, it's starting to look like he made his own bed. As a result, there's little to no sympathy for him among the LA podcast scene, which has done nothing but worsen the situation.
For that shit with the boy, nigga, who got killed in the gas station, nigga.
Whoa. We don't know what you're talking about, brother.
You ain't gotta know. It's public knowledge. They took his phone. Wack and them already talked about it. All I'm doing is narrating on something that's already in the blogs. So yeah, let me run my content anyway. You remember that shit?
Yeah, let Smack hit the floor.
You remember he said that shit
cool.
about? All right then, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing if you cool. Look, remember he said that shit about the boy Dirt. They can't say go kill Vaughn no more. All this shit came back on your ass. You ran your mouth too much, and now look what happened.
And as it turns out, that's a massive part of the reason why we're at where we are right now. Because without these gangsters refusing to move in silence, then the evidence might not be looking nearly as compelling as it is now. According to the incident, those LA podcasts were monitored exclusively in the lead up to the feds making their move.
And he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts. All things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur.
And sadly for many of those who are now locked up, such as Luce Cannon and Brick Baby, they are addicted to the content cycle. They even prefaced what was going to happen in real time.
We filed a report with the feds in LA, along with the LA County Police. I swear to God, I'm telling you the honest to God truth, this is what I did. So as a self-proclaimed gang leader, gang member who has ties to one of the most notorious gangs in this state, in this country. He's now going around telling all the gang information. They see the feds see he got a loose lip, so he may give up some information.
And in Luce Cannon's case, he's still literally calling up shows from jail.
I'm doing good. Everything is perfect, taking one day at a time. You get what I'm saying? So I'm doing the best I can under these conditions. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making sure that it's free everybody that's on the case. Everybody is taking and trying to make the best out of it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to my head down or anything like that. I'm going to stay strong. I got a strong team. I got you, especially Remo, Adam, Academic, everybody, Wack, everybody that's supporting.
Meanwhile, the individuals that platform this content, such as Adam22, are taking no accountability for the way the platform encourages people to talk about the streets as their main selling point.
You know what I do? I put people in position, put them on the podcast, give them jobs, help them make legal money. A lot of the shit that people are getting caught up, especially with Break, it's like, I'm not seeing anything that says anything about stuff that he's done in the last 2 years since he's been us, right? So, end of the day, I do employ people from the streets. And I guess, people from the streets sometimes get caught up in federal RICO indictments, whatever the is. And all I can say is that, yes, I may crack a joke here and there. I'm sorry, that's just my sick sense of humor. But end of the day, that's my boy. I'm standing with him. Luce, I got love for Luce too. We're going to be documenting this whole thing, helping him along the way, whatever it is. So anybody acting like this is because of No Jumper? No, No Jumper was the antidote to this book.
However, does that hold weight when it's...
You won't find more ways to raise a glass of Texas-made cheer than right here. Because at Specs, the fun starts here.
These comments from people like Brick Baby that are always sure to go viral.
I got more murders than you got squabbles in the hood and homies. Yeah, those than you got squabbles in the set. On the hood. Hey, I got. Can you give us like at least 2 names from your put on and what block? I ain't never seen you at no meeting at Hyde Park, Horseman, or at 54th. When did you get put on? When did you get put on?
This him and Luce going at one another. They've been sworn enemies until they sellies right now. What the fuck going on?
I got put on in 2002. I got put out in 2002, Eileen Street at June House. What's up?
Yeah, dead homie. So when you get put on?
No, you haven't, bro. You've been in
Man, cuz Baby was a part of my put on. Name was a part of my put on. Oh, the dead homies. My first name was Baby Wild. He's an Izzy turned East Coast. That was the third.
Even though Adam is apparently feeling good about his role in the whole thing, others aren't so sure that he might not wind up in trouble in his own right. For one thing, Roy thinks Adam might get jammed up.
Adam, be careful, because if you think the feds ever need logic in a RICO case, as far as money being funneled and what that money went to, even though you didn't even know where the money was going, don't act like you can't get brought up in this shit either. I don't think Adam did anything. But do you think the feds care? You think they play by the same rules we play by? A lot of times you could find any wired money, and that money that was wired there was used to do something that was sent to somebody. You get caught up in this in a heartbeat. And just happened at your compound recently with the people that were arrested.
Yeah.
So Adam, I see you joking on the internet, and I swear I'm not one of these people that are sitting.
There's a lot to our brother at BLACK money sign. You say revolution is way of life. I really appreciate the little family salute. You say Adam is running a modern day plantation of the M movie. Was happy to work over there for Massa. Appreciate the little family salute.
Sitting here like you and Vlad like indict people. I don't think you had anything to do with this.
As for Big U, all signs are pointing to Kingpin status. For one thing, the indictment claims that everyone involved is linked to him. And as always, their ties to the online content world have done nothing but expand on those connections for the feds.
Mitchell and Henley, which is Big U, coordinated how Brick Baby would give Big U the proceeds from a robbery that Brick Baby committed. They were talking about how much should go to Henley. Then in multiple other intercepted calls, Henley talked. Here's my point. If you used to do robberies and bust down the money for the robberies with Big U, why the hell would you get hired at a job that you got to talk about Big U potentially doing some other criminal shit, bro? When you used to do crime for him, bro. That shit don't make no sense to me. He should have said to Adam, respectfully, Adam, yo, I like doing content here. This is kind of cool. This is like a regular job for me. I like it. But bro, could we please stop talking about Big U? And probably should bring.
I know Big Baby feel ashamed of himself. You in federal paperwork getting extorted by Big U. You hit a lick that got nothing to do with none of them niggas. They find out about it. Demand a piece of the action. That's crazy. That's how that shit go. Demand a piece of the action. This is the grown ass man. You gotta go take that. So you probably taking about 4,000 to 5,000. You drop off about 2,000. They upset, but they talking about this on the phone. Talking about finding you, go and find you and kick your ass. Imagine this would get Brick Baby snagged into this federal shit. You part of it. You also a nigga out there hitting licks and all that and having to turn over something to Big U. That's crazy, nigga.
That nigga to the side and explain to him like, yo, bro, you know, I used to be doing these crimes with him, right? You know that, yeah, maybe not this situation, but like me and him used to be doing dirt together. Like, bro, if you value me, could we stop talking about this on No Jumper? Because essentially I'm talking about my crimes.
Meanwhile, the rest of the content world is working out how to respond to a man that they're supposed to fear and revere being in this situation. Because clearly, he wields enough power to have normally outspoken people dancing around the topic.
Nah, man, I feel like I don't know what's going on.
They tired of nigga shit.
Apparently, some of y'all out there are not civilians, and y'all are in a different business, which I don't really get, but I figure I'm just not evolved enough or educated enough in y'all side of the business. But if I was in y'all side of the business, I wouldn't do the business like that.
You can see it all over the footage that's been circulating ever since Big U turned himself in. In one clip, Draco the Ruler is sitting with Luce Cannon, opening up about how risky life in the spotlight can get, how being too visible can make you a target.
It's the same as out here. Nigga know these streets. Nigga can't go nowhere. Niggas ain't finna just be nigga out here, nigga shopping and posting pictures and all that. That's how niggas be in
the money wise and all that extra shit.
Thinking they got these restaurants, thinking they low. You in Beverly Hills and all that. Bitch, that shit 10 minutes from the hood, nigga.
You're right.
You out your mind and you think you safe over here.
Giving locations
I don't do none of that shit when I go out of town. Nigga, I don't post no hotels, none of that. Nigga.
Revolutionary salute to our brother at BLACK money sign. Revolution is a way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family salute. He saying they think somebody will be brave enough to take toys out from front of his house. They fear him. Come on, and they know. Now, I appreciate you showing love, family, and supporting the war chest and helping me keep the lights on. We knew that Joker took them goddamn toys, man. Please, boy. But then, now imagine that. Gotta give him some extra. That's 15 just for that motherfucking shit. That nigga pretend like somebody had the audacity going from his house. And nigga, please, they don't, man. Nigga probably turn their music down when that nigga sleep before they drive by that nigga house, bro. Don't wake up, Big U.
When from out of nowhere, Big U sinisterly pulls up. With such crazy charges being attached to the entire indictment, many people believe that snitching is imminent. Because when you're looking at potentially life-ending or altering charges, all that talk of loyalty tends to go out the window.
Gray Bird, Big U had in that picture going, man, that's Paw Paw. That nigga ain't that when he when he with his family and the news hit that he wanted. Nigga, he with his woman, he with his children, he with them grandkids. And them grandkids saying, Paw Paw, where you going? And Paw Paw got to go turn himself in. Man, crying on the inside. Just as soon as he can get by himself, man, Paw Paw don't want to leave them grandbabies. Talk that tough guy shit, but nigga got all that gray hair on that beard. And that nigga said, man, that nigga already pleading.
Facts.
So now he gonna be the first to tell. Let me tell it. But this is what I'm saying. Everybody tell it. This is no time to be lawyer and standing on no motherfucking code. They done got 40, 50. This is not the time to play fool. Be a wise man and give up some information to save yourself. There's no honor amongst thieves.
And by the sounds of it, Brick Baby might already be doing it. In a recent Clubhouse chat with Wack 100, a 60s member named 600, also known as Christopher Lovejoy, suggested that Brick Baby had prior knowledge that Big U was in trouble with the feds on a RICO due to a hot one out of town.
You understand? I'm with Brick at this time. I was his savior to bring it back to the hood. He's telling me everything that's going on, so I know what's going on with the case and all everything other. So he's telling me, man, the feds be on all your videos, bro. They like, man, Lovejoy gives us a tour of the hood every day. We that watch all your videos. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, huh? Why do I watch my video? Like, whatever. But he's like, yeah, bro. They found the chop. I'm like, okay. So I didn't really think nothing of it because, like I told you, my whole stance with him at that point was he never told before this. So I just assumed that he was in some hot grease and he had whatever he had coming from the legal system. So I never really followed up on till time start going by, like, nigga, what's up with that case? They start going around it. You know but no, 600. Your first red flag was when he started telling you the feds was telling him about Big U. Oh, feds don't so just go to telling you about so that's what he told me. He like, bro, Big U on fire, bro. It's ugly because they want cuz in jail.
And from there, he argued that Brick appeared to know insane levels of detail.
Wack told him
they got a RICO on him. I'm like, yeah. He like, no, but you ain't got nothing to worry about. It's a Big U RICO, not a 6-0 RICO. Everybody who he been dealing with, they tied cuz to a house, went out the way. I'm like, oh, he said, yes, ugly. I'm like, damn.
During a recent visit where he jokingly called the coolest police precinct in the world, Wack claimed that Big U is still up to his old tricks, using whatever leverage he has, even while everything around him is falling apart.
And Big U, for the record, I'm gonna say it.
The DNA's found.
Big U was blackmailing Brick Baby.
Oh my God.
No, but Luce said that. Luce said that the night before they got locked up. Luce said that to Brick's face.
Luce ain't lying. And if you read what's coming out, they say we now have a video of a shooting. He was blackmailing him with that.
Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure. The feds are locked in on tearing down what they were calling the Big U organization. And in an era where RICO cases are becoming more and more tied to the world of hip-hop, this one's no exception. Maybe, just maybe, it'll finally expose the truth. Not just about the rappers and celebrities caught up in the check-in culture, but about what really happened to Nipsey as well. Long live Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues.
Go figure. Follow me.